Mr. Deepak Singh. He's the founder CEO of Glide Accelerator. So he's a professional with over 16 years of experience in banking and financial services across areas including corporate and retail banking, wealth management, and insurance. He's a e-commerce, robotics process automation, education, legal and compliance. He is a startup mentor at eCell IIT Bombay, and he's also associated with XLRI Exceed Jamshedpur, and he's also mentoring several early stage startups in, and he's helping them scale up. I welcome you, Deepak, to this event.
Thank you, Shutish.
So it's nice to have you, Deepak. So my first question would be, as an ordinary citizen, what's your initial reaction to the budget?
Okay, the budget is really good, and I see that our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented like much anticipated budget of 21-22, and since amid COVID crisis, this budget was most expected, and the last year when the budget was announced by Sitharaman ji, then it was not had much of an impact as compared to it will have an impact this year. So probably like what we see here as in when we look at the key points of this particular budget, especially with the startups. So we see that 1,500 crores for digital payment industry. Now, digital payment industry itself has been evolving since 2016 when the name of the fintech came. Actually, initially we were doing just the financial transaction, that was a traditional technology side we were doing. But now when we see the fintech side of it, then we see that India is turning out to be the market leader in this particular domain space. So definitely 1,500 crores for this particular digital payment industry will definitely give a boost to all the financial transactions, and definitely and actually will scale India to the different level in the international market, because this is the industry where all the different countries of the world are relying on after the pandemic has hit. Second, the tax holiday for a year, definitely for the startups, taxation and benefit if they're getting, this will be another value addition, because most of the startups, they got shut down, and definitely tax liability was definitely a big challenge, and they were expecting for this, so definitely a big relief. Now consideration for the 1% company, as per as 2013 Companies Act, only 4 kind of companies would have been a part of the startup community: OPC, LLP, PVT Ltd, and the partnership, the normal partnership. Now we see the OPC, since one person company would definitely encourage the small level of entrepreneurs who come from a different location, especially with the geographical indications. Just like in like UP, we have one district, one product. So that's more on the geographical indication. So such kind of people will definitely get benefit from 1% companies. Now, India's gig workers to get social security. Definitely, if the social security is given to the gig workers, definitely it will encourage more employability and other factors for the growth also. And we see that Indian IT firms to gain digital census in 2021. So definitely they'll be using a mobile app for making all those registration for the digital census. Definitely it's another value add in the MCA, which will definitely boost the startup side of it. And since the fintech community was also expecting a kind of a hub, so they have also created a provision of an infrastructure hub in Gandhinagar. So this will definitely do miraculous jobs for the fintech. And startup funding is eased through GIFT, City IFSC route. And so definitely this will encourage international more number of international players to enter and Indian investors to enter into the Indian market. And we see that after this particular 7 points for especially with the startup and the different industry, the market has also reacted very well. So I think it's a very good budget. But few expectations were there, in which I will say so there were few expectations also, but that will cover in the next questions.
Right. So our honorable Prime Minister said that this budget is a part of a series of mini budgets. So whatever announcements were made last year, do you see that this budget being a part of that series or deviating from those announcements?
Actually, it is in continuation to the previous budgets also, but few things were also our Prime Minister Modi sir. He has introduced, since the time he is much more focused on the doing digital transformations, reforms in some regions, successful times with respect to goods and service tax, which was introduced in 2017. Insolvency and bankruptcy code, RERA in the field of real estate, biometrics and direct benefit transfers, opening for the FDIs. So definitely these things are in the continuation, and it will definitely help them to grow in that particular space. Apart from that, since he is very keen on focusing on digital innovations, technopreneurirships, and so that is where the policies has also been drafted, especially with respect to the technologies and innovations, so that more and more startup co-founders or the technopreneurs should enter in this particular domain and start working on the different innovative products and services. So this would actually lead them to the solid boost up of the economy, employability, and as we know that necessity is the mother of all the inventions. So, but I take it in other ways. It's invention is also a component of innovation. So, pandemic has given more very good opportunities for innovations and defining the unmet needs and working for entrepreneurs to work in the similar domain to solve the problems which has been arising due to the uncertainty. And since Mr. Modi has been also promoting a lot of different yojanas and different of schemes, so Digital India Bharat, Net India, Make in India, then Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, National Education Policy, Diksha Policy. These are some few which he has been adding. So currently we see that he's also focusing on digital healthcare, but digital healthcare and solving the problem of the healthcare industry. So I would say such kind of value addition from the budget side would definitely create unicorns, and we see that in fact the unicorns numbers have also risen, apart from the big unicorns like Paytm, Byju, Razorpay, Pine Labs, Zerodha, the Postman. So definitely yes, it is in continuation to the announcement of Prime Minister Modi sir.
So you were talking about schemes. So one such scheme, which is actually a hot topic of discussion, is the Startup Seed India Fund scheme. So what's your opinion on that scheme, and do you see any implementation challenges?
Implementation challenges will also be there, but yes, definitely he announced that scheme in the Startup Prarambh, and this has also been rolled out in the Gazette of India on 21st January 2021. So it is basically the financial corpus for this particular scheme is 945 crores. So Startup India Seed Fund scheme would basically start from year 2021 to 2025. So for 5 years, this particular scheme will roll out. Now, how would a startup would get the benefit out of it? So now they have changed the definition of the startups. So now startups will basically like all the startups which were not part of the DPIIT, or they will be applicable to the previous schemes. Now the new schemes will be only applicable to the startups who are registered with DPIIT for at the time of registration. They should have 2 years of 2 years ago registrations, and our startup should be purely using the technology side. Initially, it was not the technology was not made the key consideration, but this time technology has to be from the technology side. So that is where good boosting for the tech innovators and technopreneurs to enter into this particular domain and get benefit out of it. Preference given to the startups sectors like social impact, waste management. So we see waste management would lead to a lot of the cleanliness and other drives, which is related to other funds which is also in there, is a part of the financial budget. And the water management, financial inclusions also. So we can see a lot of microfinance kind of the entrepreneurs would actually evolve. Education, agriculture. So education has also has taken a big has grown in this pandemic. So definitely edtech startup would get a lot of chances, and we see that more than 5,000 startups have already evolved in this particular pandemic in the edtech side. So not so they were into the system, but evolution happened during this time. And then agriculture, so agri-tech startups also will get a good benefit out of it. So India has been we have been farmers right from the beginning. So definitely agri-tech will boost the economy. And biotechnology. So a lot of I in fact nurture a lot of there are a couple of startups who come from biotechnology and the agriculture. So we do a fusion model for this particular to groom them into particular innovation with respect to biotechnology. And we see other sectors: energy, mobility, defense, space, railways, oil, gas, textiles, and etc. So this can be another good assistance to all these sectors. So they have in their umbrella they have targeted all the sectors. So definitely all the sectors will have the opportunity the startup can come into this particular domain. Now also when we look at more on the incubator side, or that is where the ecosystem support would be there for the startups. So now there are a lot of good ecosystem support and a lot of new opportunities for the incubation centers or the accelerators to enter into this particular scheme and take benefit out of it. So they have designed expert advisory committee. So expert advisory committee will look at the application. The application, it's a very simple process. All the universities, private players, institutes, different bodies, semi-government bodies can also apply to this particular scheme by filling out the application forms. And finally, these forms will also have all those expert advisory committee members, mentors, and then the investor partners, international partners. So definitely, this is definitely a very good side of our Prime Minister Modi sir, which has given a good relief. And since he has been supporting the business community into the e-commerce, fintech, health tech, edtech, and agri-tech. So, and especially the manufacturing sectors, where we talk about, where we say that even the MSMEs would also get into the big benefit from this particular scheme.
Right. So you are associated with as a mentor with several incubators, and incubators will be playing a key role in this scheme, that's your seed data fund scheme. What we see that incubators at big organizations, they have access to all kinds of resources. But as a mentor, what do you think incubators at small towns and institutions that are not that reputed, what they must do to capitalize from these schemes?
Definitely, since I told you that it will be a good opportunity for all the different incubation centers to enter into this particular scheme by filling out application forms. And definitely, and the process remains the same. But now this since they have mentioned the different sectors, so So now the focus area is more on the creating TBIs, which is technology business incubators. So currently, since I'm also into research, so we, as in when I'm saying we, as in I'm connected with a lot of people. Since we were discussing about this particular opportunity, how the incubation side, the centers would take the benefit out of it. So there is a theory. There is a 9 incubation theory which has been given by one of my guide, Professor Dr. Joshi and Dr. Balwinder Shukla, and the founder of Venture Catalyst, Dr. Apoorv Ranjan Sharma. So he designed, they have written a paper on the 9th incubation theory. This incubation theory is purely focused on technology side, technology business incubators. Now TBIs, now if referring to this particular scheme, it will encourage most of the institutes to enter into TBI forms. So that is where they'll be focusing purely on the technology side, at the same time grooming the entrepreneurs more on the technical front, rather than and even if they are working on the creating a social impact, definitely the core of that business will be the technology. Similarly, the health tech technology. So technology will have a component in each and every aspect of it. So that is where they need to, now these incubation centers have to have good experts from the technology background side. I'm not saying the other components are not, they are also equivalently important. But when we train a startup co-founder or help the entrepreneurs to actually evolve, so we tell them focus on only 2 things. One is the technology development, and second is the business development. Now, all these other parts where the technology development would evolve to R&D and operation, and then marketing side would evolve to business development, sales, business strategies, and then we see that once they start doing those innovation prototype testing, and then these TBIs will help them into designing the right prototypes. So initially the incubators, like the previous years where the incubation support have not been given to most of the startups, or they have likely to fail, was more to incubate the startups and look out for the funding, rather than they should change the logic of actually first evolving them and working on the growth and sustainable model. So that is where the concept of they will have the growth as well as they have the sustainability. So sustainability will be more from the technology side, and the growth will be more from the marketing and the business development side. So both these things can be fusion, and that is where the TBI will help them evolve and grow. So startups, so this particular scheme, the benefits are also there, which we have already explained and beautifully explained, that these benefits are given to the incubation centers, and once they will roll out, they'll have those grants also from the particular scheme.
Right. So, was there any particular expectation which you had from the budget regarding the startup community that was not fulfilled?
Yes. See, always expectation. It's not my particular expectation, but generally I did a lot of reviews from the different forums and different newspaper articles and different. So there were quite a lot of expectations. People were actually looking out, and they were thinking of, but mostly I would say that they have managed most of their demands. So most of the things are already covered. But I'm highlighting some of few which could have also been taken. Since our Prime Minister Modi sir is talking about 5 trillion economy. So 5 trillion economy needs a lot of other factors that can be considered. So as our previous speaker sir has mentioned, we talk about ease of doing business, but actually on the ground level the ease of doing business is not there. Even if we apply on the portal, there's a lot of time. You need to visit those offices and talk to those babu, and at the same time try to, rather than they should focus, the government, the functionaries or the bodies or the personnels should enablers should work as an enablers, not as the discouraging factor, because there are a lot of times the startups, because the startups require very less time to survive. So ideally it is 6 months or 1 year. So within this time, if they will lose out their interest, then again they will be not be more working like an entrepreneur, rather than they should be going towards and doing jobs. So definitely I would say the government needs to remove these hurdles and do some and enable them, should basically abolish those that Inspector Raj and everything. So those things can be taken care of. Second, I would say, like if we talk about the R&D, so R&D, like most of the countries, all the growing companies like countries like China, Japan, or South Korea, or US, having said that, they invest in their R&D costs. Like India, we don't do that kind of investment in that particular R&D. So I would just give you a figure. US and Japan on an average spend 3% of their GDP on the budget, and on the R&D. South Korea spends whooping 5% on their R&D. It is only due to this R&D that these economies could create technological super brands like Apple, Sony, Samsung, and Tesla. So where are we? We're not near to that league. So if we are thinking about creating such kind of a $1 billion club, or we need to focus and improvise, at least 3% on the R&D side. So that was, I would say, that was missing. Now, I'm not sure how the finance minister is reacting to the telecom industry side. So definitely 5G is the market where they should have made some good policies with respect to 5G, with respect to low latency, because this is where, if the telecom side is boosted, then definitely it will increase a lot of opportunity in the IoT space. So that is where a lot of opportunities would come in the key areas like cloud computing, edge computing. Then all of a sudden we have missed out on, majorly we talk about MSME, but are we really in that particular market of an MSME with the standard of the international market? No, we are not. So that is where they should have boosted the more production of the things related to artificial intelligence, like GPUs, drones, robotics. That is where the maximum number of, since India, we are the second highest populated country in the world. So, and we have a lot of data. So all these datas require a lot of good microprocessors, good GPUs, which is graphical processor. So this is where these data is integrated, and these data mobility and accessibility can happen with 5G technology. So the good policy would have also given some impact where Airtel is already entered into the 5G. So definitely more players would have entered. And since I've mentioned that ease of the doing business has been here in the market since 2014 to 2020. So they would still need to do a lot of need some good regulation with respect to creating a system of ease of doing business rather than just creating a portal. And so this is very much required to boost the Indian economy in the global innovation index. And like we see that economic survey of India has shown that we are growing at the rate of 11%. So now this double digit growth need to happen, and it is very much required. And we see that this can only happen with the digital transformation. And so I really agree to it. And then the Indian government would have allocated some, like in the last year, they have allocated into the 12% to 14% in new sectors like healthcare, defense, manufacturing, and other key sectors. Again, they should have increased that level. So they missed out on few sectors. So I will just mention those sectors. Health tech startups could have given a boosted to entering into the public and private mode. Again, taxation benefit they have given, but relief on the GST should be more clear. I don't know how they will. Obviously, all these clarity will happen once those execution strategies they will make. They should allocate funds for skill development and digital health also. So this was with respect to the healthcare sector, because last year they had added some good amount of 67,480 crores to the healthcare sector. So but this time they have not done that kind of infusion. Again, the electric vehicle sector also requires a lot of boosting, since one side we are focusing on dissociating with the fuel-based cars and moving to electric vehicles. So definitely this sector would have also given considered for a good boosting. Apart from, they have considered sectors like solar and everything, but EV sectors should have also been there. And obviously, payment startups have been given a good preference. So definitely these would also be expecting a good amount of subsidies with respect to the merchant discount rates and the sale of payments. Remove GSTs on each and every transactions. So that is where it will enable more and more number of consumers to buy products and use the digital payments. So one side you are easing the businesses for the fintech, but one side you need to also give relief to the consumer in respect of making and enabling them to go for digital payments. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I missed that. Obviously, the crypto startups demand, since the government is also Indian government is expected to introduce cryptocurrency in National Digital Currency Bill in the Parliament. So this they should have given some more clarity on the crypto side of it, because this is industry. I'm not saying particularly with but the blockchain as an industry is really expected to grow from this particular year of 2021 to 2027. So that is where most number of blockchain companies, because data, again, the data privacy, security, these should be taken as a key consideration. And at the same time, obviously, if the blockchain is evolving more and defining the cryptocurrencies, so probably they should have taken out some, they should have considered for this particular segment also. So these were some few things which were missed. Apart from that, I would say that it was a very good budget, and it's a good relief for the startup also, and the MSME, and definitely industry side of other things will also improve. So I would say that yes, people are really hoping the execution part of it, to see how these things would execute. But at the same time, still people they need to relieve the entrepreneurs and the co-founders, not with the fear but with the trust that ease of doing business is actually the ease of doing business, not in the hands of the Inspector Raj, because it's like we train those entrepreneurs, and I know like at that age they are more like a live wire. So either they will short circuit, or they will run they will run like a good mileage. So that's where I would say that ease of the doing business should be actually applicable on the ground, and that's my expectation from it. So over to you.
Thank you for those insights, Deepak.